This is the list of all Cameron Diaz's movies from the beginning to the end. I hope you will like this video. Thank you. Let's start the video. The Mask, box office $351.6 million. Status, blockbuster. The Last Supper, box office $459,749. Status, flop feeling. Minnesota, box office $3.6 million. Status, flop She's the One. Box office $9.5 million. Status, flop Head Above Water. Box office $32,439. Status, flop My Best Friend's Wedding. Box office $299.3 million. Status, hit A Life Less Ordinary. Box office $14.7 million. Status, flop Keys to Tulsa. Box office NA. Status, NA. There's Something About Mary. Box office $369.9 million. Status, blockbuster. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Box office $13.7 million. Status, flop Very Bad Things. Box office $9.8 million. Status, flop. Any Given Sunday. Box office $100.2 million. Status, hit being John Malkovich. Box office $32.4 million. Status, hit Things You Can Tell. Just by looking at her box office, $887,921. Status, flop Charlie's Angels. Box office $264.1 million. Status, hit The Invisible Circus. Box office $77,578. Status, flop Shrek. Box office $484.4 million. Status, blockbuster Vanilla Sky. Box office $203.4 million. Status, hit The Sweetest Thing. Box office $68.7 million. Status, Average Gangs of New York. Box office $193.8 million. Status, hit Minority Report. Box office $358.4 million. Status, hit Slackers. Box office $6.4 million. Status, flop The Next Best Thing. Box office $25.9 million. Status, flop Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. Box office $259.1 million. Status, hit Shrek. 2. Box office $928.8 million. Status, blockbuster. In Her Shoes. Box office $83.1 million. Status, hit The Holiday. Box office $205.1 million. Status, hit Shrek the Third. Box office $799.0 million. Status, blockbuster Shrek The Halls. Box office NA. Status, NA. What Happens in Vegas. Box office $219.4 million. Status, hit My Sister's Keeper. Box office $95.7 million. Status, hit The Box. Box office $33.3 million. Status, flop Shrek Forever After. Box office $752.6 million. Status, blockbuster Night and Day. Box office $261.9 million. Status, hit The Green Hornet. Box office $227.8 million. Status, hit Bad Teacher. Box office $216.2 million. Status, hit What to Expect When You're Expecting. Box office $84.4 million. Status, hit. Gambit. Box office $14.2 million. Status, NA. A Liar's Autobiography, the untrue story of Monty Python's Graham Chapman. Box office NA. Status, NA. The Counselor. Box office $71 million. Status, flop. The Other Woman. Box office $196.7 million. Status, hit Sex Tape. Box office $126.1 million. Status, hit Annie. Box office $133.8 million. Status, average. The Mask 2. Box office NA. Status, NA.